What the fuck is up, y'all? Stay tuned. Road to profitability. Let's get into it. Let's go over our trade today. 2 trades. 1 loss, 1 win. Right around break even for the day. I think I made like $50 on my lose. Yeah. Let's go over this trade. All right, going into the day, I thought we were pretty bearish. We swept. What day around? Okay, hold on, my bad. We swept this low all the way down here, and had all of these. In the 4 hour, we're bearish, and in the 1 hour, going into market open, I was a little questionable about it just because we had, what candle was it? It was this 8 o'clock candle, but it closed lower. And then we got into the 15-minute and some of my targets for the day. We had this Asia high if we wanted to go high, London high, which it swept. But pre-market, it swept London and Asia low. So that's what made me think maybe we're going to be bullish today. But once I saw it was a consolidating and then it manipulated up. And as soon as we didn't break past, let me go back on the 5-minute. It didn't sweep this Asia high, and then we got inverse here, which I possibly could have entered on. And then here is where I messed up. I did not, let me put this gap in. I did not wait for it to retrace into this gap. I went and entered right here. I believe right here with my stop right here, because it entered a little bit and I saw this retracement, but we didn't get a clear inverse down, so that was just a bad L. It was just my patience that came into play. And then we have right where I entered right here and went right above this midline. I got a good inverse, and then entered right here with my stop right there, and I aimed for this low, and then I aimed for, hold on, let me go on the 15-minute real quick. And then I aimed for last Friday, just liquidity over there.
Let's fucking go, dude. What a beautiful trade.
Yeah, that is a beautiful trade. I wish I didn't take that.
750 day. Fake money.
Which it didn't end up hitting, but it hit my TP right there, and I just was trailing my stop loss as soon as we went past here. So over on the day, $52. My first L was like 560, which, to be honest, it should have been a little bit less than that. I was about to exit the trade because we broke structure upwards, which, yeah, right here. This is where I was gonna exit, and I exited, yeah, right. My stop was right here, so that cost me a couple $100. But overall, it was a pretty good day. I can't be too upset. Especially with losses like this, guys. I promise, when it comes to trying to pass an account too, you would rather take a break-even day over losing $500. Like I was down 560. I stayed calm. I'll show you guys the live trade when I took it and how I entered and everything. But as soon as it came up into this fair value gap, I saw this 1 minute inverse, and that was enough for me. And then we got a break of structure right here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I entered right off this inverse. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a 2 point. I de-risked a little bit, so pretty sure my final take profit though was like, where was it at? Yeah, it was right here. So I got like a 2.02 trade. But I de-risked. So instead of using, I usually use 7 to 8 micros. I only used 5 or I think 6 on this trade. And I also took partials right. Where was it? Yeah, right here. I took partials right here. But I took 2 off. But I low-key wish I just stuck it out, because the thing I was worried about was us going. So at this time, we didn't close below this gap. So it could have been just a retrace to go higher, especially off this sweep. So I just want to be careful. And then what it looks like right now is it looks like we're going to go back up. Could be. Hold on. Could be coming into here. But I think I'm done on the day. It's only a range of liquidity that you can aim for now. Be something like this. Your stop would have to be above that. Be like a 1-on-1. But yeah, so that was my trade today. A little bit over a break-even day. $52. I cannot complain. I can't complain that much, especially psychology-wise. Let me go. So especially psychology-wise for days like this. Do not think that like today was an L, just because you went break even. Like I promise, these days build up. This game is all about probability. If you continue to stick to your proper risk management, like I have a rule that I can only lose $700 max. That's why I de-risked on the micros I used for that trade, because there was only like a TP of like, I think I risked like 250, which is honestly a little bit over what I would like to risk. But especially if you're taking a trade after a loss, just don't risk the same amount. It's not worth it, because one bad day, if one bad day is worse than all your good days, you're not going to be profitable. Like it's just not. That's not how it's going to go. And I'm not even profitable yet. But all right, guys. I also want to show you guys what my actual strategy is when I come into trades. So I journal all my trades, just in the notes app on my Mac. You could use TradeZella, but you have to pay for it, and I'm not. I'd rather just do this for free. All I do is screenshot it and then write down. So like for today, for example, what I do, I explain what I took it off of. So I took 2 trades today, 1 win, 1 loss. Entered off a retrace into a 1 minute. IFVG and a break of structure, but I should have been more patient and waited for a bigger retrace into the fair value gap. I caught a win though off that bigger retrace and made $50 on the day. Nothing crazy, but it was a good day. Got to learn off of that loss so that next time I wait and become more patient. And what I can get better at, becoming more patient on retracement trades. And then, so this is a trade from last week. That was CPI, but I also took just a mock trade, and it hit. So another retracement trade. It comes right into this fair value, and this is on the 15. I wish I showed it on a lower time frame, but comes into this 15-minute fair value gap right at that looks like probably pre-market, but it retraces into here, and then we get a win right off that, even on a CPI day. I didn't take the trade though. I already got my CPI win. What trade was this? Yeah, this was the other day as well. Took 1 loss, 1 win. I thought we were bullish at first, and I entered right up here because it broke structure, but it never closed above. I wasn't patient enough, and then once we closed below right here, I entered and I got a nice win. But yeah, my strategy is super simple. I either wait for I either look at the first, if I don't have any like targets, um I either look at the first 15-minute gap, or the first 5-minute gap. So the first 5-minute gap was just presenting this. It made this huge thing. So I was gonna wait for a retrace into it, and I honestly, to go a part of usually some of my entries, I could have entered right here. But going into the day, I didn't have a for sure bias, so I didn't know if we were just retracing down more, and coming back up, because we never swept that Asia high. We just created an equal high with it. But so I could have entered here. And I actually, I would have been totally fine with that. I would have entered right here, just off that break structure, and we had inverse down, and I would have hit this low. And I probably would have avoided that loss. My retracements are probably my favorite trade, but also the trade that I need to get better at. But yeah, so now, since it was later, we got this huge, we know it's bearish now. We know we're bearish on the day. And this is the fair value gap that we're basing it off of. This is the biggest imbalance out of these 3 or 4 really. And then I go down the 1 minute. I see it tap into this fair value gap, and I usually like for it to be above the midline, and also usually using equilibrium, which I don't use often. But my buddy who I trade with, he uses it, and he always helps me out with where to, or how it is. So like, yeah, he entered right at actually right around where I entered too, but taps into equilibrium, and you get a nice, pretty nice trade. But I like to look for our free retracements is into a fair value gap, into an inverse, and then enter off that. But implementing equilibrium definitely helps, because there's a tool that I definitely need to get better at. I used to use it when I first started trading during the boot camp, and then I stopped using it because it didn't make sense to me for a while. But now it definitely makes sense. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. We're gonna keep this going. If you want to be a part of this, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.